All right, friends. So, catching up to live time. I'm going to keep the colors on this. Is that okay? For once, I'd like to keep the colors. I know it is extremely hard to see yellow, but Prisma loves his yellow, just like the Viper would love his yellow. And Vinchester likes his pink, which I think does match up all right against the yellow. Let's give it a shot this series. To anyone who does not like this, and this annoys, I apologize. This may not be the standard. But look at the bottom right for a second at Vinchester's elo. He is the only player above 3k elo right now. I know he wasn't the first to achieve it. I know that there will be some high-level players who will claim that Vinchester has not been playing them and giving him a chance to steal the points. But at one point, Vinchester had a 30 win streak on the 1v1 ladder. 30. And he's been playing very well. And he's in really good shape. And he's really confident right now. So I think Vinchester's the favorite. Vinchester, always super fun to watch. And then Prisma, as we were saying before, Prisma is a young player. He's about 19 or 20 years old, has lots of potential, and he's extremely good on Arabia. Prisma's weakness is he's not as experienced on mixed maps, which this tournament is not. Now, if I were to describe Prisma's style, he likes to play with lots of army, so I think the more open generations will suit him here. Vinchester can kind of be all over the place, but I've never said that Vinchester's really been... He's never really been an all-in player. Vinchester usually likes a few more walls. His micro is fantastic, but he will probably play more defensive today. So, Byzantines from Vinch. I was expecting Vinchester to go for quite a lot of militia, just like Hera did in the previous set. He's been doing that a lot, but Byzantine doesn't really have any bonuses for that. For now, he's walling up, moving forward to scout Prisma's base. And he'll find the TC. It will do no damage. And now he knows exactly where Prisma is. Yeah, late loomer. I don't know exactly what Vinchester's win streak was. Oh, trap potential. Oh. If that scout went in there, it would have died. But yeah, I know Vinchester hit a 30 win streak. I don't know where it ended. I'll take your word for it if you think it was 39. That's impressive. Gold is on the front for Prisma, but it's not too concerning with that wood line there. I think you can build out in front of that to protect that a bit more. He's up 18 pop. I'm really curious on town center timings from Prisma. The last couple times I've seen him in big tournaments, he seems to lack some faith in himself to drop the town centers and drop eco in situations where he could. And I saw the same from some other players in some other sets. When they're the underdog against a top 10 guy, they feel like they have to kill quickly, and it's really hard to completely kill off somebody. So to beat these players, you almost always have to go toe-to-toe with them and add some economy later. But exciting times for Argentinians out there. You've got Prisma. You've got Lucho. You still have the Olds guard, right? Nikov still holding it down. Everyone was calling Lucho and Prisma the next Nikov, and Nikov was like, I'm not going anywhere. Nikov playing like a beast. Manos is still out there. I mean, I could list like 12 different Argentinian players right now. Not all that are in this event. Capwatch, another one. But Vinchester's got a big wall down here. And he'll aim for the full walls and the cheap spearmen with the Byzantines. So far, I feel like the game plan's been good for Vinch because Prisma likes to go YOLO army sometimes. And he's Byzantines with no eco bonuses, so you can't take any losses. Pretty good map for him to wall up, and he's just kind of calculated this. Beery and Don Cabron. Oh yeah, 2 more Argentinian players. Too soon. Forgot about the famous Argentinian player Don Cabron. It's kind of a shame because that was an actual name of a player. He is retired. But he actually was a solid player. He doesn't play right now. If he does come back, he'll probably have to choose a different name. Is Don Cabron still traveling? I don't know. I don't know. That whole situation still really bothers me, actually, so... I'm not offended by the jokes. It's good jokes, but... I'm gonna move on from that. Just because Vinchester's wall doesn't mean that he's not in a good... Or it doesn't mean that he's way ahead, but it does make life a little bit more complicated for Prisma as he decides what to do now. Almost seems like he's building up to ignore this gold, and he wants to use this gold, which is probably a smart decision. Vinchester will come forward with some skirms and spears potentially. This just feels so similar to what Hera did in that one game against Lewis in the previous set. He just makes one skirm in the range and he just stops. So Prisma has to respect that army could come from that, and then it could be spears and skirms attacking the farms and harassing the woodline or something. So he might have to add his own archer range to add a couple skirms, and then Vinch is just going to chill. Vinch has no interest in doing anything in Feudal Age here. So pretty passive game so far. But I think it's good for Prisma that he hasn't taken the bait. So he didn't add a range. He didn't overmake a bunch of army against basically no army. And he'll transition nicely towards Castle Age. It's crazy the variance we have in how some of these games go. Which I think is good, by the way. I really like it. But some games are like, full wall, exactly this. They just go to Castle Age. Other games are like crazy army, full focus, the occasional full feudal. Some Castle Ages are TCs everywhere and booming, and then some Castle Ages no TCs and siege. We still could see a pretty heavy army Castle Age, but Vinchester's got a beautiful setup if he wants to stay here for a while. T90, do you think Prisma should take the sheep now? Now, no. But I personally always take 3 of my sheep with the Gurjaras at the start. This is fine, though. I don't think he needs to. Vinchester's going to be looking for where he can do damage. And he's just thinking about the golds now. So this gold and this relic, long term. This gold. This seems like a really nice position for Vinch. If he could go Spearman Monk Siege on a TC that goes up here, that would be crazy strong. But he's not making any army right now, so it's just merely an option for him. Yeah, wood will be an issue for Vinch. Normally what you do here is you do want to build a TC, maybe even here. It's slightly outside of your base, and it's protecting a wood line. He doesn't have an ideal wood line, really, on the entire map, besides the starting 2. Prisma's wood lines. These are really nice. You could build a TC back here, next to the stone. Really nice back area. But what's the plan for Prisma? He's seeding another farm. So he has 8 on wood. He has a ton on food. And his opponent is fully walled. It doesn't feel like his eco is really set up to add TCs. I mean, maybe he still could. I just feel like he should have more on wood than he does right now. Vinchester runs through. Vinchester wants to see. Are you hiding anything back here? What are you doing here, dude? All right, there's your wood line. There's your berries. Do you have stone back here? I haven't seen all your stones. There's some stone. Okay, nice. Oh, you got a wood line here. Oh, didn't know about that. Where are you taking gold, though? Oh, I see. Yeah, this is so painful for Prisma. Vinchester having that scouting intel is so annoying. You're just hoping you can kill the scout now. If you kill the scout, you feel like it's okay. Oh, man, Prisma could have blocked that. Prisma maybe should have blocked that with the villager. Vinchester runs through. Vinchester also sees more scouts. So Prisma's going to be adding scouts for map control. There's already a stable for Vinch. Vinch saves the scout, guys. So he gets all that scouting intel and gets to go home. He will lose the spearman. So that's our first kill of the game. Woo. Exciting. And Vinch will go camels. Cheap camels for the Byzantines. Gurjara camels do more bonus damage. And then there's the TC for Prisma. 18-minute Castle Age. Actually, less than that. And it's a perfect TC. Because it protects the golds. It also protects the wood line. It's also the front of your base. And Vinchester will go for TC number 2. and TC number 3 inside of his walls. What's better here, 3 vills or wheelbarrow, question mark? It depends. It depends. I really don't think one is better than the other. It's not a big difference. I think where that plays a bigger role is... I don't know. In situations where you've got more army at play and you need to spend the food differently. I mean, Vinch is going to get wheelbarrow now versus wheelbarrow earlier. It doesn't make that big of a difference. I find wheelbarrows kind of tricky with timings when you need to get blacksmith upgrades. And there's really none of that happening right now. They're just chilling. But I like how Prisma has understood this is the type of game we're playing. And he hasn't necessarily tried to do too much. At the same time, I feel like you should try and pressure the Byzantines eventually. Like, just letting Vinchester as the Byzantines boom, it could make things rather complicated. Vinchester's scout just taking a peek to see what Prisma's up to. He does have camels. Prisma will see that. And Prisma doesn't have husbandry yet, so the camels are faster for Vinch. And the scouts should be able to run away as well. There should be no problem for Vinchester to escape. He does see the town center. So here's a situation where I think Vinch could bring a vill. Maybe he'll leave his base. Actually feels more like a 4 town center game, but it could also be for a castle drop on this TC. Let's see if he continues to take stone. Villagers pathing awkwardly, but still on stone. Okay, so I would expect big army play as the camels run through again. Oh, man, Vinchester's just being so annoying here. Prisma, this isn't going to end the game or anything, but he's got to bring his camels back. He's got to bring his light cap back. He's got a house wall, but Prisma does. That was some pretty quick walls from Prisma. Not bad. Not bad at all. Villagers aren't going right back to work, which is an issue, but... And Vinchester... Don't let him escape this time. Don't let him escape. Oh, my God. Vinch is annoying. That's so annoying. That's twice now that Vinchester's run into the back of Prisma's base. He's distracted Prisma. And Prisma has not killed the army. The first time was critical because Vinchester got to assess if there was any sneak archer ranges or stables back there. On this side, the light cav just being chased off there so Vinchester can get that relic. And Vinchester's still pretty heavy on stone. That's enough on stone where he definitely wants a castle soon. The camels will counter the light cav. And then it's going to be... You know, camel v camel. Which is not the most exciting thing to cast, but eventually we might see pikemen from the Byzantines. They have cheap spears as well. Gurjaras do not get pikemen. So that's worrying for Prisma. I think Prisma needs to be hard on stone. Like, really heavy on stone, and try and play into chakrams here. If you can keep the middle of the map clear of Byzantine castles somehow, and then play Chakram and Hussar, maybe, I think you can have the better army as Gurjaras. It's just really hard to get there. University now for Vinchester. 4 relics for Prisma. There's only 5 on this generation. The other one's over here, and Vinchester still didn't even get that. I think Vinch didn't get it because he wants to take the fight and he wants the forward castle. The monks are going to be key for Prisma to equalize the numbers. He needs to have these monks focused on holding the map right now. Here comes Vinch. At Prisma really, he's thinking arena style. He's thinking getting the relics. T90, what's better? Byzantine cheap camels or Gurjara camels? Okay, also depends, right? It's also very situational. Right now, Byzantines, because you don't have as much economy. But later on, Gurjaras. Which is why the castle has to happen. Which is why you cannot allow this castle to happen if you are Prisma. Prisma gets the conversions there. He'll lose some of his monks. And the castle's going up. Oh, that's so good for Vinch if it completes. That's so bad for Prisma. Fast imp, forward castle. And it's going to happen. Vinchester's already imping. So he was imping before he placed the castle. He had enough camels. This puts Prisma under a lot of pressure. He's also on the way to imp now. But the front of his base is going to be gone. And going for chakrams is tough if you have to play into a Trebor. The last thing you want is to have to go trebuchets if you need your unique unit. I just don't know what you make then. Like, what's your military choice? Hand cannons, I guess. Archer ranges. Get chemistry. Go hand cannons, bombard cannons. So Prisma, I think, lacked some outposting there. I think he lacked a little bit of awareness on how Vinchester was going to play that. It feels like this castle was a surprise to him. But just so well played from Vinchester to get the position. He's made it look easy. And it's just been the type of game a favorite wants. The player who's favored to win never wants a scrappy game. Unless they're like, I don't know, Vivi or something. Somebody who's a scrappy player. And Vinchester can be, but more often than not is going to want these clean decision games. And he's getting chemistry. So it's been a camel war. I didn't say crappy. I didn't say crappy games. I said scrappy. Scrappy as in, like, Messi. Not Lionel Messi. I'm talking, like, Messi with the Y, not the I, okay? Sorry, I gotta be more clear on what I'm talking about. Wow, so we have infantry armor coming in for Prisma. So he is gonna try chakrams. But his main gold will be gone. His relics are going to be gone. It just... Can you actually get to the number of chakrams you need? I'm not too sure. I'm not too confident in it right now. Guys, I went to an Argentina-Peru football match during Copa America. And I don't think I heard an English word more than one time. And the only time I heard an English word in that stadium of 75,000 people was when I bought my beers at the desk. It was so cool. It was so cool. The amount of passion, like, Messi didn't play that game, but he came off the bench and, like, turned around and waved at the crowd, and people were crying, dude. I mean, I was really happy. Don't get me wrong. I was sad I didn't get to see Messi play. But people, like, caught sight of him from like 500 feet away and were bawling their eyes out. It was insane. Like, the passion and love for him is next level. Apparently, the #1 name for new children in Argentina is also Lionel or something, too. Imagine being that, like, world-renowned. That's so cool. Because, I mean, Messi's got fans everywhere, right? Guys... The chakram timing is just not it. Like, he's ended up on the unit that I was thinking about. But this entire game, Prisma has not been able to give Vinchester any problems. The forward castle's done tons of damage. Hand cannons are on the way from Vinch. He takes away the relics. I mean, this is just so unbelievably difficult for Prisma. I think he needed more map control in Castle Age. Like, the best play for the Byzantines is on their forward castle fast Imperial Age, and that's exactly what Vinch has been able to get. Look at this on the left. Like, he's just casually building a castle with 2 vills. He saw its chakram. So you can look at that, and it's kind of perfect. And you can't go Shravamshas and chakrams. It has to be one or the other, unfortunately. Unless you're using cheat codes or something, then maybe... both are possible. But when your eco's getting pushed like this, really difficult to do both. But yeah. Guys, I paid ungodly amounts of money so I could see Messi play in the flesh for Argentina, and then he didn't play that game. I was so disappointed. So I wasn't exactly crying when I saw him just on the sideline. Oh man, I was still more bummed. That game, it's just inexperience from Prisma. Like, the whole game plan from Vinchester was keep it as simple as possible, wall up, and then because his camels are cheaper, outproduce forward castle. But Prisma, I feel like he didn't expect it somehow, which is because it's a good play from Vinchester, but also maybe just because he didn't have the vision. I would have loved to see an outpost here to get some vision. I'd love to have some awareness on what's coming. I guess he was really in the dark on what was happening back there, but you need to hold the map against Byzantines. You have to. And then if you hold the map and it's a defensive castle from Vinch, you then have time to play chakrams. You don't lose your TC. Oops, wrong score. You don't lose the map. But if Vinch has a game like that every game, he's going to pick this guy apart. Prisma needs to hope for an open generation. His number one pick was Khmer, where I think he wants to spam some scouts and get crazy. So we'll see if he could do it. But that was rather uninspiring, to say the least. All right, so Italians for Prisma. I talked about how he probably wants more aggression. I think it will be tougher for Vinchester to wall up here. But finally, we see the Jurchens. I've been waiting to see the Jurchens. I've been sick of the churches from the Armenians. I don't need to see any more of that. But the Jurchens, the Civ, big fan. And they buffed this Civ, which was shocking to me because I thought the Civ was already really solid. They used to be mounted units and Fire Lancers attack 20% faster. Now it's 25% faster. Guys, they have some of the best scouts in the game. I actually haven't compared it. Jurchen Scout versus a Magyar Scout at the start of Feudal. So maybe chat can test that for me, but I think I'm going with the attack speed there. That it is just a 5% boost, I suppose. But yeah, it's really strong. Also, their Cav Archers are really solid, so I think the best game plan would be Scouts into maybe a mix of Archers, but then full Cav Archers for Jurchens here. Italians on the other side. Italians do have extra Pierce Armor on their Archers, so they can go Archers. I don't think any of the dock discounts are why you pick this Civ. But I think Prisma just wants a game where he can actually do army, right? In the previous game, it felt like Vinchester just walled just because of that map. And you do benefit a bit from the variation in gens. In theory, it's going to even out, but like if Vinchester got this generation with Byzantines, he would have never played it like that. So Vinch definitely was fortunate. Because Byzantines can have some problems on the more open gens. Okay, first time chatter, very important question. I love it when people show up and they have engaging conversation. Leah Rising says, T90, what's your opinion on opinions? Opinion on opinions. Wow, that's really deep. It depends. Depends on what type of opinion we're talking about. If it's an opinion I disagree with, not a fan. If it's an opinion I agree with, very much agree. Yeah, thanks for that. Welcome. You'll fit right in here. Vinchester has the back golds. They'll have the back stone. He does not have any super safe back wood lines. Neither does Prisma. Well, no, he found this, actually. That's far enough away, I wouldn't have expected him to find it. Man, he's scouting a lot with his sheep, considering laming is allowed. Like, I would not be scouting that far out with sheep if someone's going to be stealing stuff, but I guess Vinchester's not really that type of player. Thank you, Baron, for the 23 months. Welcome back. What's your opinion on no opinion? Chad, you got to give me more to work with right now. What about T90? What do you think about the complexity of the tech switch for the Italians and getting to Genoese crossbowmen? Where are those questions? Because like Genoese crossbowmen could be really good, but there's some tough timings there. It's hard to get to stone when stone's so far away. Genoese crossbowmen aren't necessarily good enough to do if you don't have a lot of eco. This is what I'm expecting my chat to ask me, you know? But I guess it just hasn't happened. T90, what's the hardest civ for you to play? Ooh, that's a good question. Hardest civ for me to play. Thinking. I mean, historically, I've really struggled with the Sicilians, but I've been doing better with them recently. What civ do I really struggle with? I'm actually pretty good with, like, Dravidians. Pretty good with Koreans. Those are some civs that people can have awkward times with. I don't know. I guess I have no weaknesses. Oh, Cumans. Ah, I freaking hate that civ. Yeah, Cumans. Found it. I die to Cumans, and I die as Cumans. There's no in between. I can't 2TC boom without being punished, and I can't stop the 2TC boom. So that's a tough civ for me. Nice engagements here for Prisma. He just waited at home. He had the really fast uptime there with the Italians because it's cheaper. Oh, but look at the attack speed from Vinch. Vinch 5 HP, backs away. Vinchester will go for scouts. Notice Vinchester's being pretty relaxed with this, taking his time and not too interested in rushing it, and Prisma's going to rush the numbers. I think that Vinchester's done his homework. Prisma very rarely goes for Man-at-Arms. I played Prisma a bunch of times. He's defending against Man-at-Arms. He is not going for Man-at-Arms. And Vinchester knows he can chill because the guy won't drush him. He can take his time with his scouts. There's no concerns for Vinchester there. Vinchester just seems to have a ton of confidence right now. Being later to Feudal and then building that with one Vil is kind of crazy. T90, what's your biggest regret in AoE2, and why is it ever criticizing Obsidian Arrows? I don't think I was as critical about Obsidian Arrows as I was about some recent techs, but it's been a long time. It is funny, if Obsidian Arrows would be introduced in 2025, we'd be like, yep, that fits. We're like, oh, compared to some of the other bonuses, yep, that's fair. We get it. That's pretty cool. But yeah, at the time, it was pretty ridiculous. And, oh, Prisma's mad, dude. He says, don't disrespect me. Gets the villager snipe. Vinchester's being far too casual about all of this. I like that snipe there from Prisma. Also, Vinchester had some TC idle time. Prisma's got the archer range behind. Prisma's going for the big full walls. This is a good situation for Prisma. Because Vinchester has to make a lot of army just to protect from the potential scouts. Like, why is Vinchester over here? I keep thinking it's Vinchester being, like overconfident, but that's going to be another dead Vil. Oh, man. Prisma up 3 villagers now. And yeah, all this scout production from Vinchester is just to defend. He can't do anything offensively with it. This is where I think what Prisma should do is he should never leave his archer range. He should just full wall, and you just wait till Castle Age and play Crossbowman. If you move out now, the Jurchen scouts can snipe you. So just chill. The job's done in Feudal. Maybe doesn't get too many of the fans out of their seats, but that's what I think the best play would be here. OG Lithuanians or Obsidian Arrows? I mean, they're very different things. I don't think OG Lithuanians were that overpowered, right? They got the extra 150 food at the start, but that was it. Unless I'm missing something. Oh, I guess maybe the way the relic bonus worked or something. Vinchester still on sheep. That's the Jurchens for you. And we are going to see 2 spears and 2 archers move out for Prisma to apply follow-up pressure. Walls are not an issue for him whatsoever. Houses and blacksmith behind. And he is following up. Vinchester doesn't see that army right now. And he's still adding scouts, which I think was the game plan. But it's pretty nice for the Italian player. As we see another spearman from Prisma here. It's pretty nice when the scouts are this dangerous and you never had to fight them head on. And now the archers and spearmen are here. He will get fletching. He's still adding spears. Again, my assessment would be just farm and just make archers, but he still wants more damage, and I respect the energy. But if he tries to do a little bit too much, this could be problematic. Loses an archer there. That was a bit unnecessary. And now Vinchester's bringing all his scouts over here. Vinchester's getting armor. He's going to take this. He'll probably clear this, but how many scouts will actually be alive? He's got 2 weak ones in there. Yeah, that's going to be that's going to be a clear up here. Vinchester also distracted all the scouts with 2 scouts here. Yeah, so Jurchens will eat that. No problem. I still don't think it's horrible for Prisma, because the reality is he's still making archers. He's still got unprotected eco. But I wonder if he could have just stayed in his range the entire time, not lost a single archer. So he would have 7 archers in there then. And then maybe just play Castle Age. Wow, I'm really surprised. Still adding spears, still adding archers. I mean, let's see how it works out. It's so torn, right? Because you want the underdog to continue to send pressure and not have fear, which is what's happening. But at the same time, when you're walled, you kind of want to play Castle Age. Usually. Just passing there. Vinchester will see an individual spear. Will kill that, no problem, if he wants to. And then he sees this army. He's not walled. He's even going to get forging now. Yep. That's what the scouts can do when you've got the attack speed and you've got these numbers. But Vinch is also delaying his Castle Age by spending so much food. It's crazy. Vinch knows the army might be coming through. He will get bloodlines now. And he moves off of gold. Yeah, Saul, I'm with you. I wanted Prisma to have more farms. I wanted him to have less on golds. I think he's just going to use the market now. His eco balance has definitely been a little bit off compared to what it could be. But when you add that many spears and the archers, it does slow down your farm count too. So, he's going to get another Vil for this. Gets another Vil, and now we'll lose his whole army. I'd be curious. I don't know if we have any other players playing in this tournament. But I'd be curious on what people think about this. I think that's good value in the end. 3 villager kills. Vinchester produced a lot of scouts, got a lot of upgrades. Now you play double archer range crossbows. He sold all of his stone. He still only has 11 on food, so it doesn't feel like the cleanest eco long-term for Prisma, but... He's completely house-walled everywhere, too. Wood is going to be a concern, but I think maybe eventually a TC over here. Hey, T90, your new video just went up. I know, I'm a crazy multitasker, man. That's why I wanted Prisma to stay in his archer range so I could go upload that video. Would you believe me if I told you I was simultaneously recording that and casting this series today? Obviously, I just scheduled it. That's been scheduled. So, the next Uncle episode, by the way. So, if you go from this series to that video, there will be a drop of 3,000 elo. Oh, my poor uncle. I think in that video, he had 21 elo, which means that Vinchester has 3,001 more elo than my uncle. Oh. Oh, that's so bad. I'm not getting a Christmas card, man. Don't tell me Vinchester actually gets through here. If Vinchester gets through here, this would be horrible for Prisma. His army's looping this way. He's about to get his upgrades. He's still just doing the math. He does get more HP. This is worrying me. I don't want him to come kill these scouts, though. I want him to go kill the wood line from Vinchester with Castle Age. I'm trying to do the math. Okay, he brings 1 archer. That's fine. It can kill one of the weak scouts, and he's okay. Nice job from Prisma. And he's going to pressure Vinchester now. I'd really like to see him actually disrupting the wood line right now. Like, the fact that Vinchester is able to just quickly drop a palisade wall and still take wood this whole time is, I think, fine for Vinch. Like, this isn't doing any immediate damage. That's what you need more than anything, is immediate damage. I guess he is trying to break through to delay the farms. The skirms are still on the way for Vinch, 30 seconds away from Castle Age. And he's under some pressure as now Ballistics is on the way for Prisma. Prisma feels like he's done enough now. So he'll buy some stone for the second town center. Nice timing on that. And he'll be through pretty quickly here. It's just a partially built palisade. Then the house. I feel like siege behind this would have been really strong, but it's hard to move out across the map when those scouts are out. Vinchester will have a lead skirmisher. Vinchester will drop his second town center. And Vinchester is definitely behind in some aspects of the game, but once he's on skirm, we'll start to see him move out a little bit. T90, could you and your uncle beat Vinchester 2v1? No. Unless we could sling, maybe my uncle could sling me, and then I think I could do it. But if slinging wasn't allowed, I'm not really sure if his 21-minute castle time and no hotkeys would make that possible for me. Minch just waiting for armor on the skirms now. It just feels like a pretty adaptive game. We have seen a lot of walling from both players. Vinchester may be the one to start that. I'm not too sure. But now that he's got armor, Prisma has to back out of here. And he just never went siege. Just never had the siege ready. I think Prisma, so many other players at this exact same elo, at this exact same rank, the second they know it's skirm, the siege workshop's up on that hill. And now you don't have the hill, and now you have to add the siege. And it's just, he seems a little rattled right now. But he will have the siege. He does have the villager lead. And Vinchester has definitely played a little bit off as well. I think he's a bit fortunate not to have been pressured more. Drops the siege workshop here. 2 TCs for Prisma. Wood line is definitely the issue for him long term. Same for Vinch. Vinch can kind of expand this way, I guess, for wood. But, like, the middle areas for wood is huge for Prisma. Mangonel will come this way. But, yeah, guys, my brother has joined on stream before. He's also an uber noob. He's the one who showed me the game years and years ago. So some of my longtime viewers will remember that series. If you want, you can look back on YouTube. We have some cool stuff. But my brother is in. We're going to do, like, some type of content with my brother and my uncle. Either 1v1ing each other, or 1v2 versus them, or they cast with me. Like, all of the above could be possible, but it should be really fun. Because my uncle's actively playing ranked. My brother has never played ranked. I think my brother is more potential. But, I mean, he doesn't play. So, yeah, it would be fun. I think it'd be fun to do a 1v1. And then I could occasionally hop into voice chat with them and say, I could see their point of view. And then I could ask them what they're thinking and what their, what their plan is. And then I can leave the voice chat with one guy and hop into the next, see their point of view. And then I can say, like, hey, what are you thinking? What are your plans? It'd be great. Oh, big shot from Prisma. That was dead center. Still only 2 TCs for Vinchester, but he's got his rocket carts around, and he's got his skirmishers ready. That's still pretty good for Prisma there, though. Prisma is kind of turtled up here, but he's landing some really big shots. Vinchester has to be careful here, microing a lot of different armies right now. My uncle is 63 years old, which I didn't say in any of the episodes yet. So the YouTube thumbnails was just an AI-generated uncle. So I think people assume that my uncle's like 5 years older than me or something. That's not a photo of my uncle. And my uncle doesn't really play a lot of online games. And he just got inspired because of the content. So it's been cool. But yeah, you can watch that episode later. He picks a new civ. And we got some plans. I got on a call with him and we made a game plan. Oh my god! Luckily for Vinchester, he's getting siege engineers in Castle Age. Which you rarely see, but I mean, he needs that because he's not winning the siege fights right now. And so far, it's made a difference. Takes down the Mangonel. Prisma's imping. If Prisma can just keep his crossbows alive and get imp upgrades, he can win this game. Imp Arbalest, and with his micro, could tie it up 1-1. Vinchester's economy hasn't been stellar behind this. I mean, the food count is, I guess. But it's still just been 2 town centers, but he is taking down the ranges. Kind of a funny moment here, but Prisma's not going to have an archer range to research Arbalest right away. Unless he builds more, and he is building more. Damn, Siege Engineers hit so hard. It's so tough to engage on this now. Vinch has so much damage output from the rocket carts already, and then he has the range. Takes one. Can he take the next? And he takes the next as well. Oh, God, that's bad. It's bad, but you still have your crossbows. And crossbows with good micro can still take down Castle Age rocket carts. So the strategy's still good. He just needs to hold. He needs to be patient. But he is under a lot of pressure right now. And, of course, he's young and inexperienced compared to Vinchester. Be careful. I also wonder if Prisma knows Siege Engineers is in, because normally you have that range advantage over the rocket carts. He might misjudge it. Because, like, he probably hasn't experienced this that many times. But, yeah, the upgrades are in now. Oh, that's really good from Prisma. That's really good. Look how fast the rocket carts go down now. Another one goes down. There's only one for Vinchester. His skirms as well will just be patrolled down. There's a good shot from Vinch. But Vil count's even. Vinchester imping. And a castle now from Prisma. Oh! See, he's not used to that extra range. That extra 1 range with the attack round is perfect for Vinch. Also isn't seeing it. I was just going to say, I prefer a castle to be way more aggressive if you're going fast imp push. But you have to clear the army first. Yeah, it seems crazy, but I think the idea is there. He just has to kill Vinch's army first. My goodness. Yeah, now he's like, why not go further forward? We'll go further to this hill. He could just patrol his crossbows and kill the skirms. The skirms will go down. The skirms can't be anywhere near this now, once Arbalest is in. Risen Prisma's like 19 or 20 years old. Something like that. Oh! No! Oh my god, he just got 5 years older with that. Oh no. His youth is gone. Oh god, he patrolled right into it. I mean, Vinchester's still 20 seconds away from him. Vinchester will have skirms with upgrades soon. It still should be a lot of pressure from Prisma, though. Prisma will have double castle in the middle. Prisma can add bombard cannons. I always forget if Churchins get bombard cannons. It looks like they do. That's a crazy castle from Prisma. Oh my god, he's lost so many units. I just feel like ever so slight micro difference between Vinchester and Prisma. Vinch was able to get some nice value from the skirms and rocket carts, and now their upgrades are going to be even. But Vinchester can't take this gold. Prisma behind this is on 3 TCs, and Prisma will complete this castle. It's messy, but that's fine. Vinchester can't easily get away with the skirms. They're all going to die to the Arbs. Bombard cannons and Trebs are going to be on the way for Prisma. Vinchester didn't click chemistry yet. I think Vinchester's going to struggle against this. I think he should struggle against this anyways. I like Prisma's eco upgrades. I really like Prisma's eco upgrades. I just would like to see a siege workshop on the front for bombard cannons. Making bombard cannons from home feels a little painful right now. They have very, 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 very tiny legs. So do them a favor. Spawn them from the front. Fortified bastions. Ah. Okay, so this tech is pretty crazy, actually. Fortifications regenerate 500 HP per minute. Which is obviously huge for your castles, but I still don't know if that's going to be enough against this many Trebs and bombard cannons. I still don't know what Vinchester's plan is with army right now, either. He still didn't get the chemistry upgrade. He still doesn't have that many skirms. The skirm numbers are not enough to stop this. He's lost a trebuchet. Prisma's snowballing right now. More Arbs are on the way. More siege is on the way. And this is the only castle for Vinchester. And the rest of the stone that he has will be sunk into the repairs. I just don't think Vinchester has enough here, guys. His only play is Skirmisher, and Skirmisher will die to this. Amazing job from Prisma to use early Imperial Age. And he's really going crazy now. More villagers running forward, I guess just for wood. Forgot that is a concern for him. But Vinch's castle is gone. And Prisma could just keep pushing here. Stable will go down. Siege Workshop will go down. All Vinch has are these 3 ranges producing skirms. That's it. He has no way to counterattack. His eco will be extremely inefficient. And as long as Prisma always has bombard cannons, the skirms can't engage on the arbs. Eventually, if Prisma gets to... Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I mean, Vinch needs something. And Prisma's going full tilt, full pressure through the middle. So this is definitely going to make it interesting. Prisma doesn't see that. But I think that should make it even more clear in Prisma's mind that he has to push. Yeah, he saw this because he's not microing his arbs. But... And that castle's going to go up, I think? Wait. Can he deny this? He's bringing a bombard cannon. He's bringing arbs. The castle's at 50%. I don't think this goes up. Vinchester's base is going down too. I don't think this castle goes up. He's using the bombard cannon to attack the vills, building it. 85%? 89%? 92? 93? 94? Denied. GG. Prisma wins. Vinchester didn't do enough with the map control. It definitely got messy. I mean, Prisma ends the game on 12 with 12 on food. But the full Arbalest, bombard cannon, tread push on the front of Vinchester's base was enough. Sometimes you'll have the favorite in the game. They'll have a bigger economy, and then they can push this back. But Vinchester never really had a bigger economy here. It was a confusing game. Like, I feel like Feudal Age was good from Prisma. He got the walls down. He killed some villagers. And then in early Castle Age, he was at least out there with some crossbows. I think the key for him was actually not moving out. And he moved out with the crossbows that would have been sniped by the skirms. Vinchester's idea to play Feudal Age like that just makes me think that he doesn't feel he can lose. Or maybe he's not extremely sharp right now because it was very slow to the stable. Very slow to reaction. Didn't have any real aggression to stop Prisma from walling up. So it was, for me, a lot of this comes back to Feudal Age. Vinchester did have more on food, but Prisma went heavy on gold, using the market. But those castles were key. Remember, initially, he wanted the castle here, and he walked forward, and he built the castles here. And those castles being in the front here won him the game. So, nice job to change the position there. But game 3, Malians for Vinchester. This is where I think he's probably going to open up with some infantry, finally. That's something I expected to see a lot from Vinchester here. We haven't seen yet. And then we got Prisma. And Prisma playing as the Khmer. Jordan said he's getting a visit from Vinchester. Okay, so Vinchester's in Germany now, maybe? Okay, I mean, it's not that uncommon. I mean, that's... as far as pings go, it's not too crazy. This is the #1 Civ pick for Prisma. And he loves to spam the scouts. Game number 1, he wanted to spam the scouts with the Grajaras, and Vinchester just full-walled. That's been my critique of Vinchester so far. I mean, it worked in game 1, but he just took his time, just played so defensive in the previous game. I think small walling and playing through a little bit more army is going to be the key here for Vinch. I'm already expecting the early barracks from him with 4 on wood. Why does Vinchester travel so much? Is it work-related? I mean, I don't think we need to actively discuss Vinchester's life right now as we're casting his Age of Empires. But I mean, if his work is AoE and you just need a computer, I think it's pretty dope to travel around. And I know Vinchester likes to travel, so good for him, man. If anything, it's actually really impressive that one can change their circumstances so well, or so much, and you can adapt. It could actually help the Can actually help your performance at lands, too. Because you go to a land, it's a completely different place after lots of flights. Could be tough to adapt to that. But Prisma gets housed almost. At least he remembers the house needs to come up now. And Prisma will bring his board, push in these deer. Nothing too crazy here. I could still see the full wall style happen if they want to do that here. A T90, what in which game Gabetto did really good? It was yesterday, question mark. So hold on a second. You know the game you're asking me about was yesterday, okay? Instead of clicking yesterday's VOD to verify that, you would like to actively ask me during the cast so I respond to you? Is that where we're at? It's okay. But check Wikipedia. Oh man, Nilly was right. Nilly always reminded me of like that dad who says because I said so. But dad, why this? Because I said so. Would never give the explanation. Nilly would just say, check Wikipedia. Man, full walls again from Vinchester. That's all good. I think it was Yo. I forget which game it was. Yo played. Yo Stone Please was the series. Unless we're thinking about another one. 2 militia coming forward from Vinch. Prisma doesn't know the militia are coming. And he's also going to go for the full wall. Man, what is the amount of walling here? Like, it is shocking how much walling we're seeing. At least we see a drush to deny it. Prisma's just pushing in the final deer here. Walls have been absolutely insane this series. Quick walls there from Prisma to defend the Vills. He probably won't be able to get this deer because the militia's here from Vinch, unless Vinch helps him accidentally. Vinchester's just going to kill it there. And Vinchester walling here, Vinchester wanting the full wall over here, and Vinchester will probably get a full wall down on the front as well. Crazy amounts of walls. But I honestly, I still think that Vinchester full walling is good against Prisma because Prisma likes to spam the scouts. And right now, I think Prisma in his mind is thinking about all the other builds that have been 2 militia into a follow-up 2 militia and man-at-arms. And so he's opting for a range. That's not going to be the case here. At least I don't think so, because Vinchester's just taking his time here. But big walls. Massive walls. But walls that will complete. And Prisma doesn't know. He doesn't know where Vinchester is. He doesn't know what Vinchester's doing. His scout is still at home. These are the Arabia games that I always hope the player who stays at home gets punished. I feel like if you just sit back and just to push that one extra deer, you should be punished in some way. But that isn't always the case because players are really adaptable and it's worth it to get that extra deer. But it's really risky for Prisma to not know what Vinch is doing or where Vinchester is. But, I mean, Vinchester doesn't know the next option for Prisma. He doesn't know it yet because he just lost his scout. But he'll know now. He'll see the skirm and he'll say, oh, he's going range opening. Interesting. But yeah, just crazy amounts of walls, guys. And in other sets, hasn't been this way. Thank you for the dono, Idefix. Sorry I didn't see the message, man. He says, I feel like my donation around your uncle needed to be said to the low elo brothers out there. Okay. Message is, I really don't get the no hotkeys. The standard hotkeys on these games is so easy. It's just click the letter the icon is on. Whatever you click on, QQ equals house. WQ, barracks. Click a unit. A, attack. D for stand ground. And so on. You don't think how that could be complicated for a 63-year-old man who's never played an RTS before? My uncle's 63. He doesn't have a history of playing RTS games. He's playing the game for the first time. Hotkeys can be kind of tricky, man. But yeah, I have him play, I do have him play with the standard hotkeys, so it is QQ. I think at the very least, if he just gets used to pressing Q, That's fine. You can click the buildings and just press Q, and you're still producing things out of most buildings. So, I didn't want him to start on my hotkeys because my hotkeys are ingrained from years and years and years and years of habits. So before the definitive edition. So I don't press Q for barely anything. A crazy value from Vinchester's militia right now. He's just sitting pretty behind his walls, adapting with eco, and his militia are going to town. Villagers idle. Skirmishers are... Don't tell me a skirmisher's gonna die. I think Prisma can just assume Vinch isn't gonna do anything now. I think what I would do in Vinch's shoes is I would go for a range, and I would play crossbowman here. I'd play crossbowman timing, fast ballistics, and try and pressure the front. And right now, Prisma, yeah, he loses a unit. Are the militia about to kill the scout as well? I swear. Best rush ever. Considering it hasn't killed the villager. This guy's going to town right now. Can he get the Vill? He's on the hill? Nope. Get the scout? Nope. Get the skirm? No. Okay. Interesting. Look how many Vills Vinchester or Prisma had in queue right there. 10 villagers in queue, and we're going to see a stable from Vinch. Stable from Vinchester. He'll add some scouts for map control. This might be kind of like Arena. He certainly turned it into Arena with all the walling. Both his stones are in his walls. His main gold's in his walls. And he'll click up. Be on his way to Castle Age here in a second. Prisma needs to full wall his base. If he full walls his base, he also has a pretty good map. Same thing as last time, though. He doesn't have a lot of wood. But Vinch made 0 units in Feudal. And is on his way to Castle Age. So different than the other sets. Alright, T90, are your hotkeys based on AOC or HD? Conquers. So my hotkeys are kind of a hybrid. I don't remember what HD's hotkeys were per se, but I customized mine at a certain point based on some feedback. There's a player who is from the US named Spring, who used to be insanely good. He recently returned to the game. I rated him the other day. So I kind of used some of Spring's hotkeys. But yeah, it's like B for build, H for TC, C for Vill, F for farm. But I used some of Spring's hotkeys for military stuff. So I think it's fairly similar to most other people's hotkeys. My goodness, we got 2 scouts running in here from Vinchester. What are we doing, Prisma? You see the first scout run in? And he's trying to wall it up, and now we got 2 more scouts in from Vinchester. This is just too easy, man. It's just free damage. Maybe he can try and trap these units now, but Vinchester gets away. Vinchester's laughing right now. Also, this villager's still weak, and she has to get home. If Vinchester sees here... No, 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 no. All right, she's chilling in the house. But yeah, hotkeys are all about... I mean, to a certain extent, yes, certain hotkeys can be more or less efficient than others. But my suggestion for people on hotkeys is just do what's comfortable for you. You shouldn't make any big changes to your hotkeys until you get better at the game. Because the only way you know if a hotkey is good to change is if you have a higher level, so... I wouldn't suggest anyone do anything but the base DE hotkeys if they haven't already started. So, same thing as we said before. Big boomy game. Big boomy series. Vinchester, 2nd and 3rd town center now. But in game 1, he played just enough army to drop a forward castle. This map has this sprawling hills through the middle, but no real obvious forward castle. So maybe this is more of a 4-town center boom type of game. And maybe castling this hill. I feel like this hill has to be important. Gold's right underneath it on both sides, mainly on Vinchester's side. And it's right smack dab. Is that perfectly centered in the middle of the map? Not perfect, but it's pretty damn close. Camels from Vinch. Kills off the Lycav. But the camel is no upgrades, so Prisma's going to micro that down. And try to anyways. He's getting husbandry now. T90, what's your idle TC and villager hotkey? I don't have an idle TC hotkey. Is there a hotkey for such a thing? Idle villager hotkey is period, but I rarely use that these days. I use scroll wheel, which is weird. I scroll down for my idle vills. I kind of regret doing that, but... And then to select all my idols, I hold shift and scroll down. We've got a 4 TC now for Vinchester. And I do the same. It's scroll up for all my idle military, but again, having that on scroll is super awkward, so... Red Kansky says tab is best for select all idols. It's best for you. I would make an argument it's not best for me. Yeah, it's whatever works best. I think I use tab for doc. The tab is doc stuff for me. I like the read from Vinch because, again, the previous game, you could go 3 TC with some army and drop a forward castle with a fast imp because you're Byzantines and because you were pretty close. But here, they could not be further away from each other. And so 4th town center feels like a fit. Maybe even a 5th town center could be good. But I think he needs to plan around having a castle next to these golds. Monk is out there for Prisma, who wants the relics. And Prisma's doing a good job at that. Already has this relic on the way. The light caver paying off. He was considering running in there, but Vinchester was going to trap him. Just wondering if Prisma will think about a 4th town center as well. I mean, he's stuck on 3 right now. No market. No stone for the next TC, so it'll probably be 3 for a while. I wouldn't hate playing buildings in the middle at a certain stage. I also wouldn't hate a switch to Arbalest. Like, Arbalest, you already have the range. Khmer can pretty breezily make it to Imp, but then things get awkward for Khmer. Because they don't get Bombard Cannon. Malians get Bombard Cannon. That's really the main thing, but... Also, their Arbalest lack Thumb Ring, so... Really what Khmer are best at is Elephants, Scorpions, and Hussars. Maybe a couple Halbs sprinkled in, but they don't have any key bonuses there. Ballistas are good if you have a big eco. So if it's 4 TCs, I think Ballista Elephants is nice. But I don't think he'll be on 4 TCs. And yep, Camels come out here from Vinchester. Vinchester's Vil count is climbing, but he doesn't have any relics. It's an interesting matchup because Malians don't have Halb. So without Halb, you can struggle against the heavy Hussar play if you don't have the gold for Camels. So as I spin this matchup round and round in my head, this really comes down to, does Vinchester get these golds? Gold here, gold here, gold here, gold here. Especially this, because like these are his golds, not the neutrals. If Vinch can take a big fight and take the map and castle that and take that, it's going to be tough. But I think Prisma is trying to rush an Imp timing, but Imp into what exactly is my question. Imp into what? Imp into a couple more light cav upgrades? I'll convert some camels here. He actually only got 1 camel, which is really unfortunate. And now he's dropping the ranges. He wants to go cav archers? No, not against camel. I really don't like that. I don't like it. I mean, you're more mobile, yes. You have more HP, yes. But you receive a lot more bonus damage from camel. And camels are out in the field. I guess if he gets Imp, if he can take the map, it could be good. Vinchester's coming forward now. Vinchester's not protecting his vills. He is right. There's not a lot from Prisma yet, but that's a nice find from Prisma. Vinch will lose a couple vills. He'll bring more camels over. Is it a castle on the Holy Hill? Or is it a castle forward? I think Castle Hill would be key. Because now your opponent knows... He's going Middle University. Now your opponent knows you're coming, and he might have some army ready. And he just castles the hill. That's a satisfying castle. That is a Viper-approved castle right there. That is a perfect little hill. And Prisma sees it. So, Vinchester did the same thing as last time. It's a very similar scenario. He went for the big boom. He goes for the map control later. I guess he's not in Imp as quickly, but... Prisma got 4 relics, just like game number 1. And Prisma's still massing those Cav Archers. I found Vinchester very late to blacksmith upgrades last game. And the first game, he didn't really need any, but I'm just mentioning that because he doesn't have many yet. And he is now on the way to Imp. Took his time with that, my goodness. I think you need to go Halb right now if you're Prisma. It's going to be crazy. If he just plays full camel against your Cav Archers, you'll have some real issues if he gets the upgrades. Big question on if the upgrades do come in, though. These villagers here are the only vills mining at gold outside the base. That's exposed. Vinchester's running out here. Vinchester's not even fully walled on the left. So much of my frame of mind has been like just expecting Vinchester to be lights out with the decision making, but it has been a little sloppy here today. And he still never had a town center on these golds. I guess he does still have a lot of gold there. Vinchester also has outposts around the map, so he'll see these golds. He'll see this gold. But he cannot let these Cav Archers in. And there's Palisade walls. Prisma's got Bracer. Prisma can be in. And yeah, Prisma should run in. There's no reason not to. He'll drop a castle at home. He's just avoiding the middle castle now. The Cav Archers are in. Vinchester's eco is super exposed back here. He's just going to build a panic town center, but... Man, this is really tough for him right now. Still doesn't have the army to maybe deal with Cav Archers. I guess against 8 Cav Archers, you have enough? Even if you have Castle Age upgrades, but nice snipes here from Prisma. More Cav Archers are sitting here as well. Vinch needs to make sure this army doesn't escape. He needs to house wall that. If you don't let the army escape, it's fine. It's an okay trade. With that many town centers, you can get vills again. You just can't let those units get out. It looks like he's doing that. Vinch is up. He's going for Cavalier now. He kills off the camels. He still has the hill. There's Trebs on the way for Prisma, though. Prisma needs to be patient with those Trebs. If you go with one Treb, Vinchester will snipe it with the Cav. Against ranged units, you can use the Treb up the hill like this and show your hand. But against Cav, you have to either have army to protect those Trebs, or maybe you don't show it at all. Let's see. Vinch's upgrades still aren't in, but remember, Khmer do not get Thumb Ring for their Cav Archers. Khmer are far from the best Cav Archer civ in the game. Beautiful Vill snipes from Prisma, though. And Prisma's eco is flying right now. Yeah, walling the Treb would work. Stone walls in front of the Treb's a good idea. I like that. It's going to be so tough to push Vinchester up this hill. It's just a weird game because Vinch is middle, but he's really fragile on the sides right now. They're really fragile here. But if he can engage before Halb, especially if he can afford Farimba. Farimba's pretty expensive. Those Trebs are goners for Prisma. And Prisma, if he ever loses this castle, that's his only one. And yep, Cav Archers got pulled out of position by Vinchester. The Cavalier will go through. The Cavalier snipe one of the Trebs. The Cavalier will go for the next, but they have to back off. But still, Vinchester has his hill. He does really need fletching. His castle doesn't offer a lot of protection right now. And there's actually not a lot of vills around to repair the castle and repair the Trebs. Raids over here are defended by Prisma. He garrisons. Prisma's using those CA against the Trebs. Vinchester still has more army inside of his castle that he could pop out with here. And there he goes. It'll force the CA away, which means his Trebs are still firing on the castle. More stone was purchased by Prisma. Halb upgrade isn't in for Prisma. That's just pikemen right now. Prisma will run out of stone. He's at the limit. He's out of stone. He has to panic, sell, and buy again. His castle will fall. His Treb goes down. Vinchester's castle's barely up. Barely. I mean, he has 3 vills repairing, man. He needs more eco repairing this. If he could just take the Treb. If he didn't get masonry, this castle would have gone down already. Can it stay up? It stays up! No! It went down to like 100 HP. Oh, that's so annoying for Prisma. And now Vinch can chill. Now he can relax. They'll repair over time. He can work on some upgrades. Vinchester just barely holds on. At some point, Prisma's going to want stone, and Vinchester's waiting there. So he's going to look around on where he can take resources, see that, send a bunch of vills to it. The Cav Archers still are doing okay. I mean, heavy Cav Archer, I can't question as much as I was before. But Farimba is on the way for Vinchester. His Cav are going to be so much stronger than they have been. And just clinging to life on that hill has been so important right now. Vinch's big boom made all the difference. He lost 30 vills, but he's still 20 vills up. Just because he has so many TCs. This 5th TC was actually quite nice, because he could just recover really quickly. Vinch is just going to raid him to death now. Vinch can switch sides everywhere. There's no defensive castles. It becomes such a difficult game for Prisma now. Vinch is just going to go wherever the Cav Archers aren't. The Cav Archers taste down here. Vinchester raids up here. And I think Vinchester can use this time to just castle the rest of his base. Yeah, Cav run away this side. Cav Archers still chase. Vinchester could maybe castle back here. Vinchester could castle up here. The TC goes down for Prisma. The front of his base is being pushed. And he still could never catch up to these Cav. He is going to start to raid. And we've got Vinchester preparing the champion switch now. Malian infantry, extra pierce armor per age. So it's... Is it 9 or is it 8 pierce armor on the Malian champions chat? We call them champ scarls because they're kind of like a huskarl. I get why one would want to go for it because it's also really good against halbs. But against heavy CA, Cav Archers are still doing decent damage. Normally that choke point's good for the Cav Archers because the Cav can't engage, but the Cav are engaging and the Cav have Farimba. So the Cav have +7 attack, and there's raids over here from Vinchester. There's raids over here from Vinchester. There's still the Trebs being saved here from Vinch. And Vinchester's going to kill most of the CA mass. And yeah, Prisma just lacked map control. For me, again, a case of Vinchester taking the map control, Vinchester going for the bigger economy, and then being in the better late game state. After watching game 2, Prisma loves that faster imp timing and the forward castles, so his faster imp timing into Cav Archers was along those lines. But Vinch holding that castle was just enough. The hill was important. Very big eco from Vinchester. Just super confident play. And that's how he felt in the previous game, but he just didn't actually have the economy. It's been an interesting series, guys. I've seen a lot of King of the Desert. I have not seen a series that's been so boomy and so little feudal age and so castle age army. I think some of that's the map generations they're getting, but I also think it is the player styles. I think Vinchester seems to want to avoid feudal age against Prisma. Vinch up to 1. Prisma will have to win 2 straight. And I mean, the games have been close. If he can just up the aggression in castle age and just hold more of the map, I think he can beat Vinchester in this shape. But yeah, another game where I'm expecting the potential for some full walls, but I think that'll be more complicated for Prisma here. The front of Prisma's base is wide open as he goes for the Georgians. He has to win this, otherwise out in the round of 32, and favored Vinchester moves on. I'm seeing a difference in the woodline locations. I'm looking at Vinchester's base, and I'm envisioning the walls, because that's all Vinchester has done so far. But yeah, golds could be an issue if he does that. I guess the main gold. He's got the build in the back. I really like the Vietnamese. I think the cheaper eco-techs, combined with the extra HP on Fire Lancers and Archer units, combined with knowing where the enemy TC is, makes the Civ really strong. It's one of my favorite Civs, actually. They might actually be a little too strong, some people would argue. But you could make the same argument with some other Civs. Vinchester's Civ isn't the best for the Drush technique that he's been going for, but since when has that mattered for Vinchester? He does really like it. Georgians have a really fast start here. So Georgians want this to be an aggressive open game. Free mule cart. So no need to take wood for a while here, because you don't need to spend the wood to build it. And he'll already be on his second boar. I think if it's a wall game and no damage is done in Feudal Age, I prefer the Vietnamese. And I would say Vietnamese playing Cav Archers is the ideal here. Because Cav Archers are your best option against Knights. And Cav Archers are mobile on a pretty open map, right? The other thing is, Georgians might want to play Cav Archers. And Georgian Cav Archers are good because their Cav regenerates, but they don't get Thumb Ring. So it'd be the same spot that Andy was in against Lucho the other day, where it was Magyars versus Georgian CA. Georgians are going to want to play Knights, and they're going to want to play Scouts, and with lots of eco, and they want an open game where they can raid. But Vinchester will know that, and what he did before was he full walled. In the previous game, he full walled, so the Khmer couldn't raid. I'm kind of expecting he tries the same thing here. This map seems pretty doable. It's excessive compared to some other sets, but definitely doable. I wanted to answer a question, and I completely zoned out here. Chat's on screen. We're good there. Everything else is fine. Oh, on the bans? Yeah, so I'll show you real quick. So bottom layer is random bans. So that's fully random. That happens differently every series. And then the bans below that are player bans. And that's hidden bans. So they don't know what the opponent is banned until they end up doing... finishing all of their bans. And then the first pick is a hidden free pick, so technically they could pick the same first civ. That happened in the previous series, for example, so they both picked Vietnamese. But yeah, so I don't think you need to nerf Mongols because a tournament has 20 bans. I think if a tournament has 20 bans, there's always going to be some civs that are always banned. So that's just what they've chosen for the variety and whatnot. The variety's been nice. It does feel like we're playing with more... I don't think we're seeing a lot of elite Arabia civilizations as consistently as I remember in Arabia tournaments in the past. Because it used to be like, there's 2 civs on the draft, or 3 at least, that are insane and look out. And now it's like, well, maybe there's 1. Like, maybe Chinese gets through the draft or something, but... The Prisma walling up again. Almost like he's expecting the drush. I think that's why. He knows Vinchester likes to do this. His scout will find the militia. And pretty nice that he found it, because he didn't scout much of Vinchester's base otherwise. Vinchester will see some of those walls. Vinchester knows the berries are over there, and Prisma's just going to full wall himself here. But I think the tournament's been good so far. The variety of the maps and the civs has been good. I do feel like there are some differences in a player's map gen, which could be a concern at the very highest level. Like, some map gens are super wallable and some are super open. And I'm okay with that being different game to game as long as it's the same for both players. But one player getting a significantly better map, you hate to see in later stages. So I hopefully that doesn't happen. But I think it will happen, and that's also why you have best of 7s later and best of 9s to maybe factor some of that stuff in. It's so tough, though, to judge a map, because at the end of the day, it's how a player plays with the situation they're given. And so you'll usually find the best players make their maps. They make the most of their situation, right? Vinchester's drush will do nothing, really. And he just won't want to lose his scout here. Archer range opening for Prisma again. So 2 games in a row where Prisma wants to go for scouts, like he did in game number 1. But because he's expecting Vinchester to have some big walls, because Vinchester opens with the drush, he ends up opening with the archer range instead. A Clumsy Taco says, T90, do you think we'll ever get exact custom mirror maps? I hope not. We tested that in the past with some show matches. This was many years ago. And what would happen is a player would say, they would look at their own map and they would know what the opponent would do because they know what they would do. And you'd both basically have that knowledge, and it would lead to very, I don't know, just boring games. It was just weird. It's like, okay, a gold slightly exposed, so neither player's opening archers. I know exactly what they're going to do. So, it just wasn't very good. It's tough. Random map scripts need to stay. But, you know, you just have to try and find a random map script that doesn't occasionally have a map gen, which is a bit unfair. And it's a tough task because there's a million different possible generations. That's part of what makes AoE good. That's part of what makes running a good tournament difficult. You wouldn't scout your opponent's base anymore, right? Like, why scout your opponent's base to get info if you already have the info scouting your own base? I think it was key. Vinchester didn't lose the scouts. I would have had my eyes on this big time if I were Prisma, but now Vinchester will see the archer range opening. And Vinchester will know it's probably skirms, but Prisma just goes one skirm again. So yeah, good Q&A time, guys. This is going to be a boom towards Castle Age. We've got fast Feudal, full wall, one skirmisher, and nothing more out of the archery range from Prisma. But making more army might not necessarily benefit him because Vinchester's been in the back. Vinchester's in the back taking that gold, which is a pretty wise move. A scout does regen there for Prisma, so his scout will always have more HP than Vinchester now, unless he makes a mistake. Yeah, I think going full random civilizations for a tournament like this would also be really bad. You just have some really lopsided matchups. Not for a tournament of this magnitude. I do think, like, a full random cup or something. So it fully randoms the maps, fully randoms the civs. I guess that was Masters of Mega Random, kind of. Or Hyper Random. Hyper Random is a bit different than that. That's good. Oh! Oh! Oh, God. Okay. Prisma, do not fight this. Do not fight this. Your scout regens slowly. Do not fight this. Vinchester knows it's regenning. He doesn't have the same bonus. He wants to take the risk. You wait until you get up to 6 HP, and then you can fight it. Because they're both one hit right now. Do not look away from your screens, guys. We have, quite possibly, the least important scout fight you've ever seen of your life, but it is still the most important scout fight of this series. Because there's been very few scout fights. Prisma's waiting. Oh, God, that 2 HP takes so long. Oh, he takes the fight. He wins the fight. The drama. The people applaud his patience. Beautiful job. I don't know. Maybe Vinchester... Oh! No! No! Oh! Oh, no. Oh, that's so sad. Well, hey, I mean, 50-50, right? It's even. We'll see what happens next round. Maybe next round that'll be much closer. Oh. That's funny. And then Vinchester goes right back inside his TC. He's like, we've done enough. We're going to hide now. That's so funny, man. Well, it'll be rather nice for Vinchester to be able to scout that the skirmishers are actually outside. Because, weirdly enough, if I didn't see the flag on that range anymore, I would think my opponent was going archers instead. I feel like the skirms would never move out. Archers would. So he's looking. Prisma should not show him anything. Not even the skirms. Don't give him that vision. Ah, that bothers me so much. Like, you might not think it's that big a deal, but, like, now he knows that you only made 3 because there's no flag here, and they're... I don't know, just not in love with that. I feel like these games are very adaptive, very slow in this series, and that Vinchester's gonna love that information. T90, brain teaser for you. Okay, all right. Would you prefer not being able to watch hockey ever, or only be allowed to play AoE PlayStation mode with a controller? Oh, God. You're going to make me choose between hockey and AoE, basically. No offense to any console gamers out there, but after playing AoE my entire life, pretty much, with a keyboard and mouse, I think having to play it with a controller would be an extremely painful experience. So that is essentially asking me, would I prefer to... you know, never play AoE or never watch hockey. And I would choose never watch hockey. I like hockey. Hockey's great. Hockey's one of my favorite sports, but AoE's my life, man. AoE is my job, my obsession, I mean, It goes like family and fiance, and then AoE for me. And then like further down the list, sleep, oxygen, food. I don't think I could survive. So yeah, that's just, I gotta go for that option there. So Vinch, again, getting some good value with very little scouting. He'll see 2 range. Will he see a Cav Archer? No, he didn't. But what else are you going to make at this time? What else are you going to get fletching for? You're either blindly going skirms, or you're going Cav Archers now. And so that's key, because now Vinchester has to plan on his option, and he's going to play for Rattan Archers here. That TC's on the other side of that stone. And he's sending stone villagers from both TCs. So he wants Rattan Archers rather soon. Now, Vinch is trying to fortify up where he can. Double houses behind here so the Cav Archers can't break through. Here is pretty exposed, which I don't like, but it'll take some time for Prisma to find that. T90, I think he will struggle without oxygen. Well, not having AoE is like not having oxygen, so it's basically the same for me. That's how painful, that's how awful life would be. And no, I'm not addicted. I'm just, you know, it's fun. It's not in any way related to my addictive personality. It's just fun. That's all. It's just a game. Cav Archers hit the wood line. Skirmishers made it through for some scouting, but I think Vinchester's Scorpion should be able to force this away. You can just leave the wood line. And big army from Prisma. And he might get the relics again. But he just now drops the second TC, and Vinchester already has 200 stone. I think Vinchester's pretty happy with his position right now. He would be in a weak spot if Prisma went forward siege. I think Prisma should know with this what is going to happen, and he will go for the siege workshop. But this timing is everything, right? If that siege workshop is already up making a mangonel, the whole game's different. And he's going to make the siege workshop there, which shows Vinchester he's going for siege. I think Vinch will just buy the castle right away. I don't like that location. Vinch will now know, like, oh crap, I'm going to get pushed, but I have some time here. Market's up. He can buy the rest of the stone. He could still save his town center if he places it. It's still risky, but... I mean, where do you want to place it? You could also place a castle on the right, but you really want to protect the left side of your base, because if you get pushed here, it'll be painful. Yeah, he's just going to place the castle there. And Prisma's just been desperate to find some eco damage here on Vinch. Hasn't happened yet. And Vinchester's eco is looking pretty clean. Prisma will get the relics again. He might get all 5, maybe 6 relics if there's 6 out there. The normal position to siege push from would be over... Well, it's tough. You want to push a town center, but you also want to push from a hill. And there's no obvious hill here. So I don't actually hate this. But this hill as well could be really valuable. Prisma doesn't know the castle's up. Prisma's Cav Archers hit the wood line. Vinchester loses a hill. The Vinchester's micro is good enough where he'll have confidence to use Rattan Archers against the Mangonels. And the TC and the castle shoots the Mangonel. So now Prisma knows the castle's up. Oh, but there's a Mangonel from Vinchester there. How did that get there? How did the Mangonel get to the outside? Hold on. Sorry, I need to go back and double check that. Oh, it just rolled this way. Okay. I thought maybe it glitched through or something. I just didn't catch it moving that way. I want big Castle Army from Prisma. It's tricky now because you can't do easy damage, but you're still pressuring the town center. And I just don't want a situation again where Vinchester can easily retake this with a little bit of army. And he drops middle castles. You've got the relics. You've got a good long-term position here, Prisma. Fight for it. Rattan Archers are strong, but they're mainly strong in the later stages. So... this is still a very difficult game for Vinchester to play. You could try and play imp timing. You could try and play around a Trebor or something, too, if you're Prisma. Damn, that's a lot of siege. I like this. This is not easy for Vinchester to balance his eco. He also won't have near as much wood to make rattans, add farms, because he's repairing the TC so much. And Vinch just continue. Oh my goodness, dude. Crazy how bold Vinch is running around that siege. Keep it up if you're Prisma. Keep it up. TC's almost down. You're on 3 town centers with relics. He also has churches all around his eco to add to the efficiency. Vinchester's micro is good. One of my earliest moments of crazy micro is Vinchester microing plumed archers. A very similar unit against like 4 scorpions. There's like 4 scorpions, 3 plumed archers, and Vinchester split microing against them. This was in 2014 or 2015. But, I mean, still got to make him work for it. You still have to play the game, hope that he makes a mistake. So far, Vinchester hasn't made many mistakes. And he is going to imp. He will have enough stone for another castle soon, maybe. Damn, that was a crazy shot. He attack grounded in front of the siege workshop, expecting a mangonel to hop out, and it actually hit. And then he gets the kill. And now he's going this way. And now he's dropping a castle on that hill. Prisma's on the way to imp. Vinchester's just showing no fear with these Rattan archers. And he will also be on the way to the Imperial Age. How does he do this? How does he have such a good economy? Look at the upgrades. Look at the balance. The castles are kind of perfect. And now, what army do you make if you're Prisma? You can't go you can't go archers anymore. Siege apparently isn't going to work, but finally it does. That castle will go up. Vinchester has to be careful. The mangonel's finally hit. Now he's splitting again. He'll take down 1. He'll take down 2. And the Rattan archers are just so tanky, so... It's an anti-archer archer, basically. For those that don't know what a Rattan is. Something about their tiny little hats just really soaks up the arrows. I would try and go... Ooh, big shot! Okay, yeah, I would try and go Trebs and Cavalier in this position. And I know there will be a chatter out there who says, ew, Cavalier? Why Cavalier when you can go Manaspa? But he doesn't have the castle timing. He doesn't have the stone yet. So you need to go for production buildings you can actually get to. Vinchester's underneath the TC. That won't be it. So it has gotten a little sloppy for him. But yeah, you go Cavalier numbers. And you go castle like here. After you take a big fight. And then a bunch of Trebs. Hopefully. But he doesn't even have his first castle. He's not even close to a castle now. Vinchester will clear up the knight on the left. Find a couple Vil kills. Vinchester killed a mangonel in the middle. Killed a couple Cav archers. Vinchester will also see its Cav. Know it's Cav. And with that, he might go for Halb. But it looks like he's having a lot of fun with these Rattan archers right now. But 5 relics for Prisma. Yeah, Cavalier and then Skirm. But the thing about Elite Rattans is Elite Rattans also eat Skirmishers. Especially Skirmishers that don't get the final armor, which is the case for Georgians. So this unit is kind of a nightmare for Georgians to face up against. And Vinch is going to go for the kill, it seems. Watching Vinchester play with range units is something else. But he maybe got a little too overconfident at times this game. He had some good moments. He had some not so good moments. Here he's got some good moments. Prisma is fighting before all of his upgrades come in. Losing his armies. Vinchester will drop that castle. He's got 22 Rattan archers. And Prisma's got 1 knight about to be Cavalier. And all of his production's on the front. He still doesn't have a castle. He got the relics. He tried to push, but he just wasn't able to break Vinch. And now Vinch is just flying right now. And some people kind of meme on the free conscription upgrade, but free conscription for Vietnamese is huge. Military just produce so quick once you hit imp. Not needing to research that too means you can produce the units. It means you can make Trebs right away. I just don't think the Cavalier is good enough, guys. Your unique bonus on the Cavalier now is it regenerates. But it does, the regeneration rate isn't fast enough to be enough. And now it's elite Ratson. So the armor's max for Prisma. That doesn't get any better. But the Ratson damage output only gets better. Oof. But yeah, this is the best archer in the game when compared to other archers. It's also still really good against other things. It's kind of an all-purpose archer, I guess you could say. Not necessarily an anti-archer archer. It's just a tanky boy. I feel like Prisma has not known how to do it, how to play against Vinch's style, how to break him. And now Vinchester's building barracks. He's planning on Fire Lancers too, which is sick against Cav. He's massacred the whole wood line. Raids on the left side is what Prisma will try. The raids on the right aren't enough because this is still walled. Raids on the left can't work either because Vinchester... Oh, there's a pond. Vinchester is walling off the army. Wall, gate, house, blacksmith, house. Army will now path into the castle again. Amazing from Vinch. He'll kill off these Cavalier. He's still got Ratsons in the back. He's still got some activity on outposts from the sides. We'll have pressure through the middle. He's just playing so incredible. He's just made it look easy. Like, to sit here and watch Prisma, who's 2,700 elo, and as fast and aggressive as can be, to sit here and just ask questions is just because Vinchester's playing that smooth. Looks like the units did get through here. The Ratsons will get some value in the choke. But Vinchester will have Fire Lancers and Elite Ratsons soon. It just has... Oh, it actually doesn't have a big army, truthfully. He did lose a lot of his army here. He is a little distracted back here. He's got random things going around the left side of his base, but he doesn't really seem to care. Does Vinchester think he's going to lose this game? That's exactly how... If I were to sum up this series, I would say Vinchester doesn't believe he can lose. That's the statement. Everything about Vinchester's play has just been like, I don't think this guy can kill me. Like, that's a crazy castle. He had no army there. There's big Cavalier mass for Prisma all of a sudden. But yeah, castle's going to go up. Castle will complete. All the relics are right there. Hey, this is sloppy for Vinchester. His whole group of Ratsons just dies. Super sloppy. Forgot about that. Does it matter? It might. Still losing lots of units. He's bringing more villagers forward. His castle's starting to be trebbed down. He doesn't have any bombard cannons here. He does have Elite Fire Lancer, which should be pretty good here, but the Ratson option is kind of falling apart. Still think the Fire Lancer should be an amazing unit. Man, Vinchester's bringing a lot of ills forward. The bombard cannon's exposed as well. Prisma still fighting here. If he can treb from this side too, Vinchester can lose all of his castles. He's getting trebbed here. I'd love to see some trebs from here if he can get the golds. Vinchester doesn't have paper money either. So it's not like he's getting gold income while chopping some trees. And some of the gold he's mining is this gold here on the front. He's not taking this gold. He's not taking this gold. He's still holding. And the Cavalier numbers are so low for Prisma. And he's going to lose the trebs. I mean, if you watch the other sets in King of the Desert, this was definitely a unique one. I don't know if that's because of the distance between the two and maybe some higher ping, or maybe just some of their homework. Like, Prisma expected the drush, so he walled, and then Vinchester expected the full scouts, so he walled. But so many of these games, pretty much all the wins for Vinchester, were just these adaptive boom games where they built up towards him. Prisma would take the relics, but Vinchester would have the better eco, and Vinchester would kill him in early imp. The game never went beyond that. Prisma had some really tough times being able to punish him. And he did try, right? He did try here. The siege push was the right call, but maybe that needed to come a little bit faster. It's just so tough to do. Vinchester, I think, can have an off day and beat the majority of players in the bracket, except for maybe, you know, the top 10 or top 16. And I do think he'll have to step it up in the next round, though. That was not the type of Vinchester that I was expecting to see. He'll need to sharpen up because his opponent should be pretty good in the round of 16. Nice job from Prisma. Prisma winning the first round would have made him happy at least. He's a young player, 19, 20 years old. Clearly has some talent, just needs to learn some things. It's not like the speed isn't there. It's not like it's just the experience and the confidence that will need to come over time.